Hey guys, so I've had the Submariner around for just over 2 months, and I thought I'd give a little review of the experience of owning your Grail watch for the first few months. Autofocus? Okay. So first of all, it's hard to get tired of your Grail watch, especially one as unobnoxious as a black diver. Um, In terms of wear, it's looking really good. Very good. The only excessive amount of wear I'd say is I put a few scratches on the clasp, although you'd barely be able to see them, I think. Yeah, not really. Especially with autofocus not coming in that well there. But yeah, barely noticeable. I mean, you'll see it's not perfect. And that came from wearing like EDC items on the left hand pocket. And so I only realized that after about like a couple of weeks. I was like, where are these scratches coming from? I'm not really brushing up against anything that would do that. And then I realized it was probably like my knife and stuff on my left hand side pocket. I was inadvertently um, brushing up against it occasionally. Nothing egregious. I mean, it could brush out, but I'm not going to. I mean, this is my EDC watch, and as an EDC watch, it's been fantastic. Um, it is a fingerprint magnet, so I do keep a microfiber in the center console of the car in case after I've like gone eating or something like that, and just give it a wipe down or something. And I've only had to set it twice. 70-hour power reserve is kind of a lot, and there's only been like two stretches where I was wearing a different watch and I had to do it. So basically, I've been wearing it out just about every single time that I can wear it. And about the house, I try to spend the time around the house to um, use some of my other pieces of my collection. Like my collection's relatively big, and I'm not trying to say goodbye to them either. I still love them. Um, but basically, it's been lovely. I've had zero compliments for it, which is about expected. I mean, I'm not fishing for anyone else's attention or anything like that. Um, I got the watch for myself. I've gone on a video like that, um, and I don't expect anyone to understand the level of watch that it is. Especially out in the world. But I have been noticing like paying attention to other what's on other people's wrists, and most people don't wear a watch. Apple watches are hugely prevalent. I'll have a video on what I think of the smartwatches. Now, I've had multiple smartwatches in the past, and so I'll go over what I think there. But um, what I have noticed is like I'll pay attention, and I've always have, but now if someone's actually wearing a luxury watch, I now feel like I can approach them and talk to them about the watch without looking like a hanger on, unless I was wearing like one of my nicer, more enthusiast watches like an SKX. Now, this is not an expensive watch, although it is climbing in price now. It is a watch that an enthusiast would wear. Now, not just enthusiast, but an enthusiast would wear. This is kind of cool to have in the collection. The same is true. Um, not so true with the SNZ. Um, Although it's on a NATO, so potentially that would be okay. But I wouldn't rotate between just mechanical watches when going out before as much as I do now. I feel that with this being my EDC, with the rest of my collection, they've had very little wrist time, and that's concerned me a bit. Like, for example, I've got this big box of quartzes here. Well, one of them's not my quartz, one of them's my wife's Yachtmaster, but that's just because she's taken one of the quartz watches out. Um, and they've gotten relatively low amount of wrist time, and it sort of made me question a lot about the collection. And honestly, like getting your Grail watch really does push you towards being a one watch collection person. Doesn't matter how many watches you've had before. Once you get your Grail, for me, the experience is I don't see much reason to wear other things, even for like a weekend watch. So in some short video, I showed that I got a Batman and a Tudor Pelagos, actually, not long after the Submariner. I struck some bit of luck there. And I couldn't appreciate them. I didn't have headspace to be able to appreciate them. So I'll tell you what I did with those in another video. I didn't sell them, they're still with me, but I certainly haven't been wearing them. But once you get your Grail watch, the other watches just seem to lose significance. I mean, they should. I mean, it's a heavy hitter in your collection. And so I was never truly negative about anything in my collection until I got it. So an example would be this Invicta Pro Diver. Now, I got this after I was sort of upset at another watch that I no longer look that favorably upon, which is the Citizen. I don't even know the reference number. It's a boring reference number. They produce so many different variants of this watch. So this is unfortunately my oldest watch, and I really dislike the shape of the lugs. Apart from that, it's pretty legible, but the fact that it's quartz, and also my opinion of Citizen went down a lot with this watch. I'll get into that before, but effectively, this watch, this one, the two Citizens, they strike me as being far lower horological value compared to my Seikos and Casios, to the extent I don't really want these in my collection anymore, and I don't think I can sell them because they're basically garbage. So that's a lesson that I've now learned, is that I really don't like Citizen as a brand. I do like the solar thing, but honestly, they aren't quality pieces, and there's nothing really that special about it. Like, I thought the Navahawk would be special, but it feels a lot more toy-like than I thought it would be. It's not a premium watch, but you're paying hundreds and hundreds of dollars for it. Meanwhile, this SNZ is a fourth of the price, but far better. But there's the topic of homages and tool watches. Now, when I got this, I wanted the blue so that it would not be confused as just a straight Submariner knockoff. But now that I have a real Submariner, there's no way I'm putting this on my wrist. It's not a snobby thing. It's just I have the real deal, and it's a much better watch in every single way, except for maybe this is just effectively coming close to the level of garbage now, and so if I damage it, I don't care. But if I want an indestructible watch, that will be, a G-Shock, and in terms of enjoyment, so I saw this on Michael Barth's video. So he's not popular on YouTube, he does Porsche and some watch videos. But one of the things that's important to me now is when I put on a watch, how does it make me feel? And as I said, not many of my other watches have gotten wrist time, so they have to have a really good reason for jumping onto my wrist. And one of the watches that actually, let me see here, sorry, my collection's down there. One of the watches that really elevated, apart from wearing more of the Alpinist, so the Alpinist is really elevated. I really like the contrast between it and the Submariner. So obviously the Submariner is a really in-your-face, classic-looking, Rolex with the ceramic bezel. It's a little flashy. I find the simplicity but sort of character of the slightly smaller 38mm Alpinist Sub 017, and then on a light strap, it's just such a different feel and a completely different look. I really enjoy wearing this watch. So this is my second most used watch now, and before it would really not be. It would be probably, fifth or sixth or something like that. The other watch that made me stop wearing the Sub for like 5 days was this, the F91W, and there's just something so authentic about this and unassuming that is the complete opposite of the Submariner, in that this is a real tool watch. This was never going to be jewelry, and it's got a, you can literally buy thousands of these for one Submariner, and um, you would not be happy with 1,000 of these, of course, but the lightness of it, the unassuming-ness of it, it's a very softly spoken, very cool watch. If you are in, say, richer company or something like that, and they've got an incredible watch, they've got, like an AP or a Rolex. If you have an F91W, you are in the conversation. This is a cool watch, and it's the opposite of a lot of things that the steel sports Rolex, it's something in your face, while this is sort of, it's very friendly and soft spoken in terms of how it comes across. This should put a smile on everyone's face. You wearing it should put a smile on other people's face if they notice. And if you've got contrast in your life that your other watches, like a luxury watch, having something like an F91W provides enough contrast that I love wearing this watch. It genuinely makes me feel really, really happy when I put this on, and I feel the difference, and it's cool. It's so unassuming. I don't have to baby it like the Submariner or anything like that. Or even these days, I'm giving my Seikos a little bit more respect in terms of they've lasted a while now, so I can give them a little bit more respect, especially my SKX. I realize I've had this one for a long time, and the SKX is the watch that really got me into being, instead of being a one watch person, into a multi-watch person. And so the SKX is kind of the start of the collection, rather than just the watch that I've been wearing and ran into the ground until it died, which was the case for most of my watches in the past. So yeah, I would say the main thing about getting a Grail, the Submariner, is that it makes you reevaluate the rest of your collection, and it isn't just about, oh, I'm only a luxury watch guy anymore. It's just that there has to be contrast between your watches, and sometimes if something was really just trying to be the sort of Submariner wannabe, this thing is now effectively trash, and it doesn't make me happy when I pick it up. I'll probably never wear it again. Maybe for fun, as in like just to throw it on. I'm not averse to putting it on physically. I just mean there's no reason to wear this anymore. And this probably means, unfortunately, it's like trash. And that's not something I want to say about any watch, that it's trash. So I just want to say, like, keep an eye on quote unquote placeholder or homage watches, because if it is your Grail and you eventually do get it, you will be trashing this. Now, this was only like $60. I don't really like literally trashing watches at this stage, so I don't know what to do about it. It would also be silly to store this forever as well. I don't know. It's I don't know what people do with unwanted watches, and especially if it's something like that doesn't sell. It just seems wrong to trash it. This is still acceptable, but I don't know what I'll do with this one. So ultimately, as I said, like, there is a reevaluation going on in the collection, and it's something I didn't really expect. I thought that it would just be one more watch, but it's such a heavy hitter, and it's so versatile that it's tough. It's tough. Not a lot of these other watches would even come close to a watch that I would say I want to wear that every day. Like maybe the Duro, if I had a black bezel, would come close to that, but no, I put a flashy bezel, so this is only going to come out, a little rarely. But now that I have something that's so versatile, it kind of interferes with the existence of all of my other watches. All right, that was a bit of a ramble, but I hope you get what I mean. I've got some upcoming videos. One will be why I don't wear the Batman, how quickly I got the Batman. I'll tell the story how I got the Batman, and potentially why I don't wear the Pelagos either. All right, I'll see you guys around. Cheers.